Back in 2011, when Mini launched the Countryman, it was a very significant vehicle for the brand. It was the first time they offered a vehicle with 4 doors, and the first time they offered one with all-wheel drive, known as their all-4 system. You really need it on a day like this in the Oregon mountains. Front-wheel drive, which is the standard for the Countryman, is not going to cut it. You need the all-wheel drive. You know, this vehicle is all about customizability, and when you look at this car versus the outgoing model, the only thing that's been carried over is this little plastic center hub on the wheels. Speaking of the wheels, you have 7 wheel options and 8 seat options. The 2017 second generation Countryman has grown significantly. It's 8 inches longer than the outgoing model, about 1.3 inches wider, and has almost 5.5 cubic feet more space. It also has a trick second row seat. It can slide back and forth 6 inches, and it's a 3-piece seat, so it gives you a lot of versatility. A lot of cars out there have the 60-40 split, but to have the 40-20-40 split on a vehicle of this size makes for a lot of functionality. At launch, the Countryman will be available in base or S models, and later will be followed by the John Cooper Works, which is their high-performance model, and an all-new plug-in hybrid, which should definitely be the mileage leader. So let's talk about what we have here. This is the base model, which is an all-new 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine producing 134 horsepower. The S will have a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine producing 189 horsepower and 207 pound-feet of torque. Both can be had in front or all 4 or their version of all-wheel drive, and can be available with a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed automatic transmission. In launching the second generation Countryman, Mini really looked at how people purchased the first gen. One thing they found, for example, is that a lot of them opted for this panoramic sunroof, so they made it standard. So let's talk about what we like about this Countryman. The changes are significant. As mentioned, nothing has really been carried over from the first gen, which was a success by its own right, but Mini wanted to really raise the bar, and they did. The extra 8 inches of length, the extra room inside, the wider stance, everything is helping to make this one of their best driving vehicles. And of course, you have the fact that this is a Mini. It's an emotional purchase, and people actually name their cars like they name their pets. This, for some people, is a pet. And no other brand has managed to do that other than Mini, so to their credit. The mechanical changes are significant as well. You have a rear multi-link suspension that has helped make this a much better driving car. The 8-speed automatic transmission, we're in the one that has the Sportronic option with paddle shifters, and even though it's an 8-speed, it shifts rather quickly, and you don't have the typical delays you have with other 8-speed automatics. We also got a chance to drive the 6-speed manual, which is brilliant. We're told in some states like Vermont, as much as 80% of buyers opt for that 6-speed manual, and it's great that Mini is still offering that while most car companies have gone away from that option altogether. So what don't we like about the Mini? This head-up display might work in a $20,000 Mazda 3. It does not work in this $39,000 Countryman. It's quirky. If you move your head too much, you can't really see it. Don't like it. The infotainment screen has been improved dramatically, but it's still not great. They have a limited form factor to work with, but it's all these mood lights that they've added in here that I just don't like. So as you can see, the interior of the Countryman is very reminiscent of all other Mini Coopers, and it works. It's a little quirky for my liking, but a lot of roundness going on, but that's all part of that Mini heritage, and I can understand why people love it. The dual climate zone is a nice feature, and of course, love all the aircraft style buttons that you have throughout the vehicle, down here as well as up here for the lighting and sunroof and whatnot. As you can see, we've had some very challenging weather. I don't think Mini counted on that for this media drive, but this vehicle has handled quite capably. It's very competent, and the all-wheel drive system is very sophisticated. It's a variant of BMW's xDrive system, which is one of the better all-wheel drive systems. We're told that actually with the all-wheel drive system, you get faster acceleration because it limits the slip in 0 to 60 acceleration. So really a nice feature to have. Most people are probably going to opt for the all-4 system, and they should. If you're going to go ahead and get a crossover, might as well get one with all-wheel drive. Another area that Mini has not addressed, in my opinion, is the clunky infotainment system. Now, people who own these cars get used to it, but for someone who just spends a week at a time in this car, it's not the most intuitive system out there. But it works, and I get it. I would never talk anyone out of buying any Mini because I understand that emotional attachment to the car, but I do think this Countryman is a little bit overpriced compared to its competitive set. There are a lot of vehicles out there that you can get for $35,000 to $40,000 that will do what the Countryman does, and maybe have even more ground clearance, more power, and more space inside, but none of them are Mini, so I'm the last person who's going to criticize a Mini buyer. Starting price on the new Countryman is just north of $26,000 for the front-wheel drive version, and if you get the S with all 4, expect to spend around $39,000, but you can option that up to $43,000 if you choose every single option and configuration. You know, the first generation Countryman was their second best-selling model. I have a feeling this will become their best-selling model. It just really hits the mark. I'm Ron Doran. We'll see you next time on The Driver's Seat.